Hello and welcome to my 3-poi swaps masterclass. You're going to learn 10 swaps, the names of which you can see right here. But you're going to have a couple prerequisites, and those you can see right here. Check out the slow motion on Instagram for the prerequisites, and check out the other breakdowns on Instagram for the actual swaps. For the masterclass, we're going to be going through all of them together right now. All right, so the first 3-poi swap of 10 is going to be the bottomless box, which, when done smoothly, looks like this. What this involves is first dropping the knob, rotating your hand, dropping the head, receiving the other head. So let's do that again. You drop the horizontal knob, drop the head and grab the knob, bring this head over and set it in the open palm and build a bottomless box. Here it is a couple times. We're going to break it down. So when you start the pattern, it's pretty easy to start, and then it gets more difficult after the second swap. Place the head into the upturned palm of this individual poi, holding the knob between pointer and middle. It goes right there. Then you're going to drop this knob next and simultaneously pendulum the head up. This dangling head is always going to switch places with, is always going to come up to this hand. It's a diagonal movement from here up to here. And that's achieved by penduluming it up. Now, in this case, you're going to bring the dangling head up to the hand, and you're going to make that hand available by getting the head out of it and the knob into it. So let's break that down. That throw is going to go towards the outside, and it's just going to chill there. You don't really want to have, have this head receive another head. There's just not enough room in your hand for that. So what you do is you get it to the knob, set that there. To make the pattern really clean, what you do is throw the head that you're going to throw, right? And that's always the top of this one, because that's the knob you're going to need to grab. You throw it to the outside, like so. And wherever it lands, that's where you're going to set the head in. So it looks intentional, right? Wherever your hand holding the individual poi winds up, that's where you're going to set this head. So it looks very intentional, right? There's a little bit of swing back after you do it. Here it is in slow motion for you. All right, so that was pattern number 1, the bottomless box. Let's move to pattern number 2, which is known as the swing through. The underhand swing through, I should say. So, spin one poi and inward while the other dangles. Reach up and under with the other one. Reach up and under with the other one, grabbing with the thumb, okay? The way we do this is by always keeping the individual poi between pointer and middle, so the thumb is available. Now, after you grab it, you're going to have to make the thumb poi dangle and do a little bit of a pendulum, while the pointer and middle poi does a rotation. Here it is in slow motion for you. While watching that, you may have noticed that this hand is always doing that grip switch so that the thumb is available. After you grab, this poi is just dangling out of that thumb grip. Before you swing it through to grab the other tether, you have to get it to that grip so your thumb's available. Grip switch, grip switch, grip switch. I find ball knobs are the right sort of coefficient of friction and like weight and size to rotate from the thumb grip to the pointer and middle grip quite nicely. I can also do it with other knobs, but I just find that these rotate so smoothly. All right, let's move on to swap number 3, which is going to be the overhand swing through. Instead of starting with this butterfly, we're actually going to start with, oopsie daisies, tough sometimes. We're going to start with this butterfly. And as it passes in front of you, you're going to use that thumb, remember, pointer and middle grip in the individual poi so that the thumb can grab. With 2 poi, it looks like this, right? And as soon as you grab the poi from the other hand, you make it dangle. See how I grabbed that one and it does not do a butterfly, it dangles. You have to gain control and make it sort of do nothing so that it's not getting in the way. Here it is in slow motion for you. All right, let's move on to swap number 4, which is probably the most difficult swap out of this whole series, but I want to show it to you just sort of to spur your creativity of taking a basic pattern and taking it to its extreme, right? So this pattern is called vertical stacking, and it's done like this. Yeah, it's hard. It's hard for me to get even 5 in a row. You can do it where every beat you do a swap. It's so difficult. I actually learned it from Chesh. Maybe he can do it nonstop every beat. I prefer to do it where I take a moment to break, gather my thoughts, and really get the lower swap, which is going from head grip, throwing it inward, grabbing the knob, bringing the whole apparatus down, and grabbing the head at eye level. See how the poi is between my eyes and the camera? That's where the knob to head grip, or hob grip, head knob grip, occurs. If you do it really cleanly, you can get a moment where they all vertically stack like that. Again, it's not super clean, it's not super fun. I don't recommend learning this trick unless you enjoy an extreme challenge. Let's move to swap number 5, which is going to be Superman's Mess, which looks like this. You swap on the non-native side with the individual poi receives the pinky-sided poi on the non-native side. Here it is in slow motion for you. The key to the Superman's mess is to make the individual poi speed up like 20% right before it receives the the pinky-sided poi. So watch how if I don't speed up and I just keep doing my 3-beat, they tangle. That individual poi has to speed up right there. My individual poi is going to speed up right there. And that's just to give it enough breathing room to get ahead of that pinky-sided poi. So it's on the downbeat on the non-native side where it speeds up. If you want to drill with 2 poi in one hand, you literally just go like this. I guess you could sort of like mock do the 3-beat with it. I find that harder than just doing it. All right, let's move to the 6th swap, which is going to be the switchbacks. Okay, so this is it in wall plane. You can do it in wheel plane. What you're going to do is use the pointer and middle grip on the individual poi and receive with the thumb. And just as I always say, as soon as you grab the thumb poi, you're going to make it dangle and do like a little baby pendulum, right? See how when I grab it, it kind of like does a little pendulum for a second so that it can allow the poi to go past. Here it is in slow motion for you. All right, so one thing you'll notice about the switchback is that the hand that the thumb grip that receives, I grab it like by the middle of the tether, and while it's doing this, it does a little pendulum, and it makes the knob go where it needs to be. So see how after I receive the catch by the middle of the tether, I'm going to do a little pendulum with this lower poi, and it just like slides the knob where it needs to be. Yes, I call it the dangling poi, but really I should call it the baby pendulum poi. And once you gain control of the grip switch happening in the background, then you can start to focus on that little pendulum. It becomes second nature after, 100 attempts or so, maybe 50 attempts for some people. I always say that, and some of you will get it in like 5 minutes. The great thing about a switchback is if you're ever in like wall plane cascade and you're like, oh shoot, you have to do a reach and you don't want to like have to reach and like continue the pattern. Like, see how sketchy that is? You can just grab a switchback and just reset. It's so useful. All right, let's move to swap number 7, which is going to be the 3-poi weave swap. First, we're going to do it in forward. Pinky grip on the bottom. Okay, see how that's pinky grip on the bottom? On the bottom, and my thumb is open. It's going to receive. Now my other hand's on the bottom. Got to go pinky grip on the bottom. Receive the thumb. Now to make it super clean, you have to speed up the thumb poi as soon as your thumb receives it, because it's going from being the following poi to the leading poi. I don't know if that qualifies as a polyrhythm, but it certainly is a brain buster. I'll try to get as many as I can in a row for slow motion for you. I can usually get like 2. Yeah. All right, now here's my favorite weave swap, is the reverse weave, okay? This is a 4-beat thumb-led reverse weave where the individual poi is on top now, also receiving on the thumb, but this is a polyrhythm. Here it is in slow motion for you. All right. As you can see, that one requires a lot of familiarity with swaps and the reverse 4-beat thumb lead weave in 2.1 hand. Okay, let's move to swap number 8, which is going to be the spiral snatch. The spiral snatch is a doozy. It involves the individual poi grabbing the pinky poi of the 2.1 hand as you're unwrapping a 3-poi spiral. Remember, 3-poi spirals form, they have 3 120-degree angles, where a regular 2-poi spiral wrap is kind of like probably 2 180s. It's like 1/2 time. I don't know if they call that half time. And then 4-poi would be that quarter time or something, I don't know. No, disregard that. 3-poi is third time, that's all I know. And it looks like this. Here's a spiral wrap with 3-poi. There are lots of different ways to do it. I personally do it where my hands are, my palm is touching my knuckles on the other hand, so that they're parallel, so that not all the knobs are in one cluster together. I usually do it like this, okay? And as they're unwrapping, you're gonna slap down and grab the pinky side knob. Here it is on the other side. You gotta do some funky stuff to get a hold of it. You have to like get the individual poi out of the way somehow. Here it is in slow motion for you. Yeah, it's a doozy. It's happening very quickly, and as soon as you like slap down to grab it, you got to move everything back because you can't have 3 poi in the same plane, you know, in front of you, going the same direction. You have to get it back, so it goes from a fast snatch to like almost feels kind of like a snake, but it's just going behind you, just a 2-beat going behind you or a 3-beat, whatever you need it to be. There's lots of different ways to do 3-poi spiral wraps. I don't do them like this, where the 2.1 hand are in a 2-beat and forward. Like I don't even know how I would have the forearm strength to get the speed necessary to do that. So it's if I'm right-handed, I'm going in reverse on my right side. So thus I'm going counterclockwise with all my poi. They come together like this. Right? They come together, they unpop, slap it. All right, let's move to the isolated corkscrew, which is based off of this little guy right here. You sort of just dangle one, dangle the pinky, dangle the thumb. You have to alternate which one's dangling while the other rotates around your head. Yes, you can do this in both directions. Let's see if I can. Isolate, isolate. I definitely prefer to do it in this direction. So here it is. First you're going to do a sort of, whoops. First you're going to do a corkscrew. 3-poi corkscrew. Then you're going to find third time of it, and you're just going to grab that as it comes around. Whoops, you're going to grab the dangly one as it comes around. And this tends to happen with mine on camera. They get wrapped up. You have to have a really good third time to make it happen. So as soon as you grab it, you have to like really give it some momentum. Okay. Here we go. Whoops, there we go. For some reason on camera, I really struggle with this one. There we go. It's a little sloppy, but it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this is like my fun one, you know? Here it is in slow motion for you. All right. The thing about that one is I don't really care if it's clean. It's supposed to just be fun. I'll clean it up someday, but for now, I figured it out in a couple minutes. You know, literally maybe like 30 seconds. The idea popped into my head, and I was like, oh, this is totally possible. All right, let's move to our 10th three-point swap, which is going to be the reacher. It's achieved by having the top one pendulum and grab on the way back to the native side with the thumb. It does require a grip switch. In a way, it's actually very similar to this one. It's just that this top part is going across, and it has to do this funky, like, it goes, okay, so let's follow, starting with the individual one. Let's count the pendulums, and let's count the amount of spins it does. It does, like, one full pendulum this way, one full pendulum this way, a grab, and a spin, I'm pretty sure. So pendulum, grab, spin, spin, pendulum, grab. Ooh, we better start over. Okay. Pendulum, grab, spin, toss. Okay, let's count it again. Pendulum, 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 spin. So it was 3 pendulums, right? Pendulum, pendulum, pendulum. Yes, 3 pendulums before the toss. Let's count it again. Pendulum, 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 grab. Toss. Okay. Now let's do it slow motion.
huge shout out to Andrew Hersey for this one. He doesn't make tutorials, he definitely makes tech vlog. So I just kind of screenshotted it, played it in slow motion, or did whatever I did. Probably wrote down the steps on a piece of paper or something, so that I could learn it. It's a very goofy swap, I love it. But comfort with that is going to lead into all sorts of other, big bad stuff. All right, I'm just going to flow with these for a little bit so you can get an idea for how they tie together. That darn spiral snatch. Well, it wouldn't be a 3-poi tutorial if we didn't include the switchback variations, right? Switchbacks are so freaking cool. All right, that's going to do it for my class. I can't wait to see what you guys do with it. Remember, you are, with each hashtag 3-poi challenge you enter, you can get up to 10 entries to win a brand new set of 3-poi in our new ChromatiX color line, with whatever type of rope you want and whatever type of knob you want. Again, I can't wait to see what you guys do with it. Don't be limited by me. You've got your own creativity. If you can juggle, you can tie them together. If you can do it with static tethers and balance the static tether, do it with LEDs, do it with fire. I cannot wait to see what you guys do with it. I'll see you soon.